Okay, in this tutorial we're going to look at how to use web fonts, in particular Google web fonts. So at the moment you have this web page which you've changed the color of, and you've changed the color of the fonts, and you may be wondering how do I actually change the fonts to be something more appealing. Well, Google have launched a whole suite of fonts called web fonts, and you can find these at fonts.google.com. You'll notice that fonts generally fall into a few families, such as serif. Those are the ones that are plain fonts like this. Sorry, sans serif. Those are the plain fonts that you can see here. If you have a look at serif fonts, let me just untick these. You'll see these are the ones with these notches, which are called serifs, and these feet here, these little bits here, they're called serifs. You also have things like display fonts, handwriting fonts as well. So you might decide that you want to pick a particular font for your web page, and you might think that you might use a decorative font. So let's say, for example, you choose this lovely font here called Lobster. If you wish to use this, you would add this, and then if that was the only font you would want to use, then you can click at this drop down here, and it's up to you which style you use. Sometimes people use this import, other times people use this style. I'm going to use import. So here, this is how we would import the font called Lobster, and we'd put that inside the style sheet. So if we copy that and we can paste that anywhere in the style sheet, I'm going to put it at the top of the style sheet here. That imports the font family Lobster, and then in order to use that, then you would just put font family Lobster, and because it falls into the cursive category, cursive meaning like handwriting, joined up handwriting, we'd copy that, and this is pasted anywhere where you wish to use it. So let's say if you only wish to use it in heading 1, then you would paste that there, or use Ctrl V to paste it there. If we save that, run it, and launch in Chrome, you'll now see that that font Lobster is used here. If you say you wanted to use a different font family for, say, your main body text, so if you wanted to have something, a sans serif font, which is very clean and easy to use, then you might go for something like, just pick a appealing sans serif font which might contrast this. We might pick this here, Railway. So once again we would add this, and now actually you'll see that we now have another font family here. So it says Lobster, Railway. So actually you can start adding more than one font family. There's 2 there, so we can just paste that over the top of our original import. So that import URL now becomes importing Lobster and Railway, and where we want to use Railway, once again we just copy this font family. This is sans serif, sans being the French word for without, so it doesn't have serifs, it doesn't have those hooks and notches that you see in these fonts. So these kind of hooks, notches, feet, these embellishments. It's a sans serif font, and the reason why we add that in here for our paragraph is just in case Railway is not working, because let's say, for example, the Google Fonts API goes down, it crashes, then it will resort to the next sans serif font that's available. Let's save it, run it, launch it in Chrome, and now we have up here you will have Lobster font, and in here you'll have Railway font. Some of you may wonder why you can't just use the fonts that are available in Microsoft Word. Well, it's because these are stored locally on your computer, but generally, you know, the fonts that you have installed on your computer, you'll find an equivalent in the Google Fonts API. So that was a quick tutorial on how to use Google Fonts.